You will have to switch, huh? That's better.
Okay.
Okay. Rajasthan International Film Festival completed its sixth successful edition this year and gearing up to script its seventh chapter. And I humbly request all filmmakers, they may and they can now submit their films for the upcoming festival on riffjaipur.org. Thank you, Somendra and Anshu Harsh, for giving us this beautiful opportunity to experience the world class cinema amidst us. 2001, just a few years back, this pretty and petite girl sitting across from where I am made her Bollywood debut through a thought provoking apocalyptic movie, Monsoon Wedding, directed by Meera Nayak. She played Mrs. Ahmadi in Hindi political thriller called Shanghai. Her role in Shanghai created new standards in real acting in Hindi cinema, and she has already under her belt some 21 odd films with Indian as well as international filmmakers. She was also nominated for the 63rd Filmfare Award for the Best Supporting Actress for the film A Death in the Gun. The range of diverse characters she has performed in each is a testimony of how versatile she is as an actor. And trust me, friends, it is an honor to be sitting here talking to this wonderful lady. Just give me a moment. I have a technical challenge here. So, uh, and the journey that our celebrated guest today started with Monsoon Wedding has now erected a new benchmark with her remarkable performance as Ratna in the movie Sir, a film she has made with Rohan Agera. The film was premiered at Cannes and has traveled across the globe and bagged umpteen prestigious awards. My guest is sassy, suave, and spunky with rechargeable energy, and my heart beams with pride as I sit here about to set the wheel rolling for a close encounter with none other than Tillotama Shome, the girl who steals your heart and goes back home with you with a sweet memory each time she appears on the celestial screen. Welcome, Tilotma. We feel truly humbled to be an audience to your success story.
My
Sir is
goodness, thank you
honestly
so much.
my pleasure.
Thank you
Sir is
so much for
honestly.
such a elevated introduction. Thank you.
Oh,
I feel like I'm on some cloud now.
no, you can continue to be on cloud now nine while I talk about the movie that is so beautiful. It is honestly a beautiful and moving love story that compels anyone and everyone who watches it to shun their prejudices aside, because we often find ourselves thrust upon with cliched characters and stories, and Sir is like a fresh take on what it takes to actually fall in love, or I would rather say how two people grow fond of each other in almost unlike emotional ambience. And Tilotma, trust me, you have sculpted Ratna, the key character, with endearing mix of charm, dignity, and what I like the most is pride. Because in spite of being a domestic assistant to the man who employs her in the movie, she exudes pride in who she is. She has her own dreams and goals, and at no point does the character appear voyeuristic. So my first question to you is, how about you feeding us on some anecdotal memories that you have of this beautiful movie that you made? So if you can share something anecdotal that you remember as fond memory.
Well, my wonderful co-actor Vivek Gomber is actually from Rajasthan, and he and I are very dear friends. So when we got an opportunity to be together in a film like this, we knew that this opportunity is not going to come again. You know, we were very
Oh,
sure that this is a very rare script. It's a rare opportunity. It's a rare opportunity for us to really give it everything that we have. And also, we realized that like you said, it's a very delicate balance playing these characters and their predicament in a way that we can connect with them so deeply.
uh, hello.
You know,
Okay.
so one of the anecdotes I want to share was Vivek and I were so particular about. Hi.
Sorry, I lost you in between.
Oh dear. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. I can see and hear you now. You can go on. You were talking about your anecdotal experience.
Of Vivek, and on the way to the shoot, we would discuss the scenes for the day and what we would do and how we would prepare. Is there any ideas that he had or I had? And on our way back after the shoot, we would tell each other to be brutally honest and
I'm
share
losing you into.
what is it that we could have changed. What is it that I think it
Oh,
is that. Oh dear.
okay. Wow, that's nice. And did you actually expect this magnum response that the film has been receiving from all parts of the world? Did you really expect that?
No, my goodness. When you do a film, you only think about what do you need to do in order to really humanize the character, for it to give your everything to the director who has trusted you with the part. I have never thought of what is going to happen to the film. That's not my job. It's not
Okay.
even something that is my focus. One hopes that the film reaches the audience because the film is made for an audience. But I have never, I never thought. But this film has been a surprise. Everything about this film has been a surprise. It premiered at Cannes.
Yeah.
And it's a first-time filmmaker. It's her debut, Rowena's debut film,
Yeah.
and for it to open at such a prestigious film festival, travel to 25 countries, theatrical release, and then come home. After 2 years in the middle of a pandemic. Like,
Oh,
if you had asked me that what do you see as the future of this film, I would never in my wildest imagination have thought that this is what would happen to our film.
and you have
It's
so
really
many.
the kudos to the director.
You have so many films already under your belt. So tell me something. Each character stays with the audience. So what about a story appeals to you, and you decide to choose and say, yes, I would want to do this movie?
It should be something that preferably I haven't done before, because there's nothing worse than I'm very aware of my mediocrity, and I know I get mediocre when I tend to be complacent. So I know that I need to throw myself into situations which are above my uh, above, like when you do high jump and you
Okay.
can jump only this high. So I
Uh-huh.
like to do something where it's this high and it's like, oh, ye to nahi hoga. This is too difficult. But that fear and that excitement is so unfamiliar, but it is so addictive that that becomes a huge reason to do a film. So the script is really the hero. If I really connect to the script, and connect, when I mean connect, I mean it pushes me to think something that I haven't thought about myself. It reveals something about me that I have not seen before. It makes me feel and look at something which was so familiar to me. It makes the familiar unfamiliar. It makes the unfamiliar familiar. When these strange things start happening, when I read a script, I know that this is something I'm going to do, even if I fail in doing it. But it's
Oh,
a sign for me, that whether people like it or not, whether I succeed in doing it or not, I know something will change in me if I say yes to this. So that feeling is very strong.
wow. So I've just learned one more thing about you. You're above all a very humble person. How you have just little your own contribution and put everything to the story and other things. Tell me one thing. Who do you think is the person or element that is instrumental in extracting that best out of you? Because what you do after saying yes to a story is beautiful. And the most of the characters that one sees you perform on screen, they are so diverse. They're so different, and one is left surprised.
Thank
How did
you.
you do this? You look so different each time you appear. So what is instrumental? Is it the director who extracts the best out of
Yes.
you?
It is absolutely the director, because the film is a director's medium, and it is the director. It's also, that's the primary. The captain is the director. The process the director puts you through, and I have to say, with time, I can also say that it's not just the director you're working with on that particular film, but all the directors that you have worked with till that point, because each director gives you something, and especially if they're really good. There are things that I have learned on Meera Nair's set, which I will never forget. It was my first film, there are things I have learned on Anup Singh's set, the director of Kissa, that I have used in every film I have done after that. And so it is definitely the director. And the other thing that allows you to really explore in a scene and really give your best is the entire crew and your co-actor. If you're in a good crew, then you can just focus on your work. If you're working with a crew which is not united or not good at what they do, then basically your work is happening despite all that. Basically you're trying to focus because there's so much chaos. But when the crew is really it's tight, and really the director, when the director is good, then everybody comes together to serve that vision. And then for an actor, then it's really I feel like my co-actor, the co-actor is if I do everything to make sure my co-actor is comfortable and I can give them everything they need, then I don't have to worry about myself. It's very freeing, and I think that's what was such a pleasure to work with Vivek Gomba and Sir, because his focus was, let me do everything so that Tilly is okay. And my focus was, let me do everything so that Gomba is okay. So even when the camera was on him, I'm not even there. I felt my scenes were much better. My performances were much better, and you guys will never see it. But because I just really, that feeling of wanting your to give everything to your co-actor takes the pressure off yourself, and the same.
Now we'll be talking so much about the director, who's the captain of the ship, as per you. Tell me one director you would like to work with and you haven't worked with, or somebody you have worked with and you want to repeat working with him. I don't want to put you in a tight spot. You're free to answer this question.
No, I want to work with Anup. I am working with Anup Singh on his next film, and there are many. I would love to work with Meera again. I would love to work with Dibakar again. There are many people I would love to work with again, because I've had such wonderful directors in my life. Someone who I haven't worked with, who I would really, really want to work with is actually Vasan Bala. Anurag Kashyap. I have heard actors who have worked with them and the stories they tell. I would, love to work with Abhishek Chaubey. There's a certain kind of treatment in his film that really is very exciting. And Vasan as well, his voice is very exciting for me. And Anurag Kashyap has... we came so close to working together long back, right after Monsoon Wedding, but I had to leave the country and the film didn't get made then. And it's an unfulfilled wish, from that time. But I feel like all this will happen in good time. I really feel it'll happen at a time when it's the right time. For now, I'm exactly where I should be. I'm very excited to be working with Anup's film, and Reema Das and Soumyananda Sahi. The other three filmmakers whose films I'll be working on in this next year. And I feel a tremendous sense of excitement and privilege that I'm going to get to work with these three people. So yes.
Wow. We wish you good luck on that one. But tell me, Tillotama, did you always wish to be an actor? When was the first time you started to feel that, yes, that is what I want to do as a profession?
Well, I definitely knew I wanted to be an actor when I saw my first play in Lady Shriram College. It was Piyush Mishra's one-woman one-man show, and he played many characters. I say one woman, slip of tongue, because it was a play called Whatever Happened to Betty Lemon, and he did play a woman, and he was phenomenal. He was this one actor on stage, and he played so many characters, and he just transformed. And every time he transformed into another character, the space around him changed as well. But it was not like actually anything changed. He made us imagine this entire space. And I really thought it was witchcraft. When I saw him, I thought, what is he doing? Why am I being manipulated? This is hypnotic. And when I saw it, this is incredible. Wouldn't it be amazing to have that kind of empathy, to be able to transform space and time like that? To be able to make you experience time differently. We are all in the same theater, we are all sitting in the same seat, but we feel we are somewhere else, and we feel the passage of time differently. The 10 minutes feel like a minute, or some, a moment of crisis feels like it's gone on forever, so that power that I experienced is what really made me wish that I could become an actor. But it was a long journey from then, because I had a stammer, I lacked confidence. I started I auditioned for a non-speaking part in my college. That helped me, gain confidence. I did a play directed by Anurupa Roy in Lady Shriram College, who I owe a lot. My seniors in Lady Shriram College, the Dramatic Society, Shambhavi, Rakhi, Abhiruchi, and Anurupa Roy. She's one of India's best puppeteers, and she really nurtured something in me. And Piyush Mishra, of course, for that, sowing that seed, of the magic of performance. And that really made me feel like, okay, I may not be the good actor, but I'm going to die trying to be one, and so that's how it, I kept at it. And
tell me, someone like you who has double master's degree to her credit, your master's in English literature, your master's in educational theater, and from premier institutes in the world. LSR is something that all of us, when we were growing up, LSR used to be the first college on my wish list. I wish I could make it.
Yes, it was on my list as well.
The New York University. So what is your line of advice to all the youngsters who dream and desire to conquer this craft? Sorry, that's a boring question, but I have to have. We have lots of.
No, it's not at all boring. It's difficult because I find it very difficult to advise anyone. I just feel like I can only share what I went through. My father is an ex-Air Force officer, and when I wanted to act, he was still serving as an officer, and so we really belonged to a very middle-class family, and being an actor seemed like how do you do that? Is that something that you can really make a living from it? Is that even a responsible thing to do? The responsible thing to do is to finish your studies and get a job, and keep this something as what we call a hobby, or But because I started practicing Buddhism around the same time that I encountered acting, and that, I think, really gave me the courage to understand that what I want has no bearing on the circumstances that I'm in right now. And that the power of my desire, for what purpose do I want to be an actor? For what purpose do I want to go and study in LSR? Why did I want to go and study at NYU? And I think when that purpose really becomes something larger than you, then you have a reason to wake up every day in the morning and do something which seems so like you don't know how doing that will get you to your dream. But I really think like from when I decided to study at NYU to when I went, it took 7 years. From when I decided to be an actor to when I can lead a life where I can live off acting, as a profession. It was 10 years. It took me 10 years from when I decided to be an actor, much more, for it to be a profession as opposed to just a passion, So I studied because I wasn't sure whether I could really make a living out of this. But I really stuck to. I really stuck to that crazy dream, like I think all of us do, who are a little crazy to want something so bad, because you experience a sense of freedom. I experienced a sense of freedom. I felt when I was on stage the first time, and as when we did plays, and then when I was in front of Neera Nair's camera for my first film, I really knew that this is home,
You know, with your
and
this
I want to
answer,
do more.
sorry to cut you short, but with your this answer,
No.
you have just made a position next to the Hussein Bolts and the Steve Jobs and Bill Gates of the world. And you know why? Because all of them, in various different articles and biographical snippets, have mentioned each one of them took 10 years to be recognized for what they chose to do, what their passion was. So you have beautifully articulated, there's something known as 10,000 hours. And 10,000 hours is a philosophy which is also quoted in a book by Malcolm Gladwell, where he says that it takes about 10,000 hours to be the best at whatever you choose to do. And each of these people I named, all of them somewhere or the other have mentioned it has taken them 10 years to be where they are today. So, wow, welcome to that club. Okay, let's steer away to something, bring you back to
No.
the profession. Tell me, Martin, how do you decode the chemistry with your co-actors? Does it demand some inner work, or does it require outer camaraderie that you share with the actor? What does it take to decode that chemistry that beautifully surfaces on screen?
Well, in case of so, I can be very specific. That it really helped to have a friend, work with a friend. I don't recommend that is the only, one should work with one's friend. In fact, we were nervous working on this film because we were like, Kahi, what if our professional approach, is not the same, and it shouldn't damage the friendship. One was afraid of that, but actually we were very much on the same page. We are both so hungry because we don't get opportunities like this very often. We don't get opportunities where we get to play the protagonist in a film that often. We've had to really fight our way, do many small parts, and really give our everything to it so that we can win the trust of directors and audiences. And so when we get a part like that, we have been hungry for it, for a decade and more. So when we get it, it's like, and it was just great to have a co-actor who was as hungry and as passionate to give everything to it. So when we never stopped working, we worked on our way to work, we worked on our way back from work, and if we thought about anything, about any particular scene at any particular time of night, we would message each other, when you wake up, please think about this scene, this idea I had. And and i, I think that innocence of being excited, of not taking the opportunity that comes to you for granted, was the magic of Sir, was the magic.
There's so much speculation and talk about so many things that a script may demand from an artist. We may be progressive as a country, but there is still so much ado about something as trivial as a kiss on the screen. So when you have an intimate scene in a film, do you come with the pressure on your mind that so many people are watching, I better do it right, and what a portion of society in the outer world going to say about it, etc., etc.? Or do you just glide through and you have your own mantra? So what is your magic potion for others who may want to do something similar in future? So how do you cope with this?
Cope with exactly which, like when you're shooting, during the process of shooting.
Yeah, during the process of shooting. So because you appear so natural at whatever you bring to the screen. So how do you do that? How do you decode that math around to make it look as real as you do? Are you hounded by a zillion? So does it
No,
bother
I'm,
you?
no, I look at the camera as a really as a friend, so
Okay.
my focus is really on my co-actors. If I'm doing a scene with you, my entire focus is on you. And I'm aware, of course, there's an entire team working to make that scene work, but my focus is on you. And then once we do one take, if it's something that needs to be redone, I know my director, I trust my director completely, that they will tell me, okay, let's play with this, or let's try that. And if they say no, we've got it, it's great. So I think it's just it's not anything so special. It's like if you look at the camera as your best friend, and you're in a really safe place, and you just have to focus on what has to be done. So it's just keeping that focus. That's all.
Okay. So now that we have seen lot of people have seen the promos of Sir and excited about watching it. I shared with my entire crew, my entire friend circle, and everybody is loving what they see. The vibes that the promo conveys is that it's a full on unconventional love story. But it is unlike a regular DDLJ, a typical Hindi filmy love story that a big chunk of our country grew up on. So, so tell me one thing. When you did this film, as you've said that you don't think about the final outcome, what the people are going to think, but how different you see this love stories from any other regular love story that people are used to watching in India? What are those things which make it so different and beautiful and heart touching? What is it that are the takeaways from this movie? Because they are those two characters who start to lean on each other. They are in a very unconventional environment and situation. These are not regular love stories that we watch. So what is the takeaway for you, that what is it that people should take away when they're watching this movie?
Well, my takeaway when I read the script was one of discomfort, and one because I felt that I felt so guilty of having the very quality that the film critiques. We as Indians are extremely class bound. We cannot imagine falling in love across class. The
Mhm.
only way we can imagine, even in fiction, idea of a man falling in love with the woman who works in his house is in pornography. If you look on Google, love story between man and his the lady who works in his house, the only hits that come up is pornography. So we
Mhm.
can't even imagine, as a country, even in the world of fiction, we can't imagine a love story between two people who, just because they are from because of the impenetrable class divide. And the best of people, the most wonderful people, people who, we think they're really good people, we are nice people, we are kind hearted people. But within us lies this monster that tells us that no, it's not possible. How can they eat on the same table as you? How can they use the same bathroom? And, how can you fall in love with them or date your maid? But it's all right for her to cook you food which goes inside your mouth, but she can't sit on the same table as you. It's all right to make your bed, but it's not bed on which you will sleep, and yet it's not all right for her to use the same bathroom that you use. So for me, the most critical thing about Sir is that it invites you to look into yourself, check in with your own prejudices, and ask yourself, why is it that you can't imagine? Why is it that you can't imagine this love is possible? And if you can't imagine this love is possible, what does it say about you?
Yeah,
you know.
so beautifully articulated. Wow, I've had a wonderful time talking to you. And now, after this intense catch up with you, let's take away, step away and have a fun round with you. So, we don't want to do a rapid fire, we want to do a free fall round with you. So, just feel free and take the plunge. And I have just some nice, interesting questions to get to know the person in you better. So, tell us something. What is the craziest thing any fan has done for you ever? You have been around for 2 decades now. So what is the craziest thing a fan has done?
Well, it was it was really touching. Someone, I was in a restaurant, and it's not at all crazy, but it was someone was also, eating at the same restaurant, and I caught her eye looking at me and realizing that, oh, I think she's that actress. And but she went on with her business. I went on with mine, and just before leaving, um, she just gave me a tissue paper, folded, and just said, if you could please read it after I leave. And she left, and it was a really wonderful note that she had written on this tissue paper. I really appreciated it so much. It's on my refrigerator, stuck with a magnet, because I also appreciate the fact that she perhaps is as shy as I am. She didn't want to, come and say anything, and it was really. I think I found a kindred spirit in an awkward fan, and I became quite a fan of hers in that moment. And I thought, the next time I meet a actor who I really admire, instead of looking at them with big eyes and embarrassing them or going and like embarrassing them, which I know I would be too shy to do. I think the next time I'll just politely go and drop a note on a tissue paper, so
So,
yes.
so sweet. In fact, when I mentioned it to my husband, I'm married to a army officer. He had his eyes
I
pop out, and
see.
he was like, "My God!" So people have seen your work, and you're quite a good fan following, even in the defense
Oh,
services, because
really?
everybody there seems to know you and love what you do. Okay, next
I'm
question.
so yes.
No, so if you have something nice to say to the army, we can convey it on your behalf.
Oh my
Absolutely.
goodness, the last 8 months of our life, in we were in Pune, and the army was like has been such a massive support to me and my family that I don't even know how to explain what I feel for the Indian Army
Wow,
and
thank you so much.
its generosity. I have no words. And moments of crisis, it's really the strength that the officers have shown to me and my family. I have no words to express. I mean, my deepest, deepest, deepest appreciation.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Okay, behind every man, they say there's a woman. And I find it very misogynistic. What is your take on who is behind every successful woman?
I think there are a host of people.
Okay.
I think, like they say, it takes a village to raise a child. We are all so interconnected, our lives, that I think behind each of us is a whole network and galaxy of people, if you're lucky, who are supporting you. And I am lucky. I'm definitely one of those. I have the most incredible family, the most incredible in laws, parents who are truly liberal, and a husband, a partner who is. Just absolutely without judgment, um, friends who are incredibly inspiring, colleagues who are very, very honest with their feedback, even if it's brutal, keep you grounded, keep you the many
Okay, okay. Now that
Hi.
we heard you talk about your better half, Kunal. So, what is that one thing that you love about him, and that what is that one thing that you find difficult to put up with?
His sense of humor.
Okay.
Situation that exists, but Kunal will find something in that situation which is funny. And I'm a quite a serious and intense person. So ever since we got together, he watched my films, he would give me feedback, and he'd be like, "It's a great film, but really, if you want this marriage to last, please do something funny." And I really took it seriously. And which is why I said yes to doing, Hindi medium and Angrezi medium. But I really do think he has a point. Like, there's only so much. Life really needs laughter. Going through right now, to be able to laugh and to be able to see the funny sides of a thing is extreme. It's a big survival, tool. So I'm very grateful for Kunal always keeping it real and keeping it funny. Yeah.
And who is that one actor, or who are the actors, male actors out of the young brigade of Bollywood male actors who you looking forward to work with? Any ones that you want to work with?
Oh, there's so many. There's just such incredible actors, now. I'm very intrigued. I would really love to have an opportunity to work with Ali Fazal, because I also think he's a wonderful, from the interactions that I've had with him, I think he's a wonderful human being, and I'd love an opportunity to work with him. But really, truly, there's so many actors, Pankaj Tripathi, there's so many actors who I really, really admire. And uh, yeah, I'm very greedy. I want to work with lots of people. So please don't make me choose.
Yeah, I mean, tathastu, may your wish come true. Okay, what do you do to stay real on social media? Because for an actor, like all of us are on social media, for an actor, it becomes more necessary to be there. So what do you do to keep yourself real on social media?
Stay off social media for intervals. And interact with people offline. People who are working in the grassroots. The reality there is so nourishing and so refreshing that you can come back to social media and spend a little time and get out. I find sometimes social media far more opinionated and myopic, and so the one way, the healthy relationship for me with social media is to really actually interact with life offline. And in the 8-9 months of the pandemic, having had an opportunity to interact with people who are working in the public sector, whether the health workers, the police, the army, teachers, and uh, you know uh, just people who are really trying to enable their neighbors and their communities in a time of crisis, has been so elevating, and has really cut through the fear and panic, far more than being online. So I think the way the way for me to keep it real on social media is to not be on social media that much. Yeah. So,
Okay, for Tilotma, is it diamonds or peaceful getaway? If
oh,
someone
never
has to
diamonds,
win you.
never.
Okay.
I don't even have a diamond. I don't think I'm ever going to get one. A getaway for sure. For sure.
Okay, your favorite getaway?
My favorite getaway is yet to come.
Okay. So I hope your husband's listening to that one. And one thing that makes your
Yes,
day.
yes.
One thing that makes your day.
One thing that makes my day, I think there, there are many things, but I think when I wake up with a sense of, um, you know, uh, like what I want to accomplish today, when that is very clear, it really makes waking up so much more exciting, as opposed to the feeling of just it's just another day. But when I go to sleep in the night, knowing that tomorrow this is what I want to really do, it's really what I want to accomplish, then it really, the waking up becomes so exciting and the day becomes really exciting.
Okay. And one word for RIFF, Rajasthan International Film Festival?
Grateful, so grateful.
Thank you so much. So we had fun talking to you. You are such a wonderful person.
Thank you.
And it was nice learning about your different facets of your life, your work life, your personal life, and
Thank
certain
you, Shweta.
as you. I seriously, if youngsters are logged in and listening, there was enough fodder for them to make notes of and come back to you. If anybody wishes to come back to you to learn more about you, where should they reach you? Are you most active on Facebook or Instagram, if at all?
Maybe Instagram, but like I said,
Available.
I really try and balance my personal life and the people who are in front of me. I'd like, so it's I'm trying my best to balance, but yeah.
Great. So nice to have talked to you, Tillotama. All the best for the years ahead and good work that you're doing. Keep giving us great movies because your work is class apart. Definitely. Your choice of films is amazing. Going through the list of 21, I was like awed. My God, the kind of monumental work you've done. A lot of them
Thank
are
you, Shweta.
amazing. So thank you so much. Have a great
Thank
day.
you so much. Thank you for
Okay.
having me, and my regards to your officer husband. Please have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
you too.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.